y'all can check that shit out on Facebook. Y'all can check that shit out on what's the name? It's not saving my shit. Something wrong with my Streamlabs. Anyway, we about to go live in a minute. We about to go live in a minute. Bullshit. I'm back on Facebook, man. I said I wasn't gonna go back on there, but oh well, fuck it. Normally we on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook now, so explaining this stuff. Alright, y'all know what it is, man. What's good? What's good? It's your boy PG the Hustler, man. Another episode of Talking Shit, episode 32. It's another live episode. Like I said before, we usually on YouTube and Twitch, but we back on Facebook right now, just for the time being. They pop in from time to time, but we getting ready to start it off like this, man. Let's just roll this shit, man. Let's get it.
And also, there's no blockade on the other side. His phone got blasted too.
Oh my god, what an idiot. Oh my god.
Wait, so is this a thing? Like people run through it? Is that
This is a thing. This has been happening everywhere.
What is this for though? What is this symbolizing?
Bunch of hood rats.
Yo, hold on, man, cause that's hilarious. That's the video. Let's hit this.
Create a website worthy of your brand. Offer your clients a seamless booking experience.
Meantime, in San Francisco, police are investigating an illegal sideshow that injured a spectator. We want to warn you, the video may be hard to watch. Cars took over the intersection of Main and Harrison Streets in Rincon Hill early yesterday morning. One spectator got dangerously close to a car doing a stunt and was hit. No word on that person's condition. And here's a look at the aftermath. You can see the several tire marks at that intersection. Residents say illegal sideshow activity is nothing new to them. Some say they aren't able to get a good night's sleep.
Keeps waking us up, and it's actually quite loud.
I hear it maybe once a week, you know? You're trying to get sleep and stuff and just go about your life, and it seems like some people have a different motivation.
And police say no arrests have been made.
These motherfuckers, privileged as hell, man. That's
sharks swimming in the
hell, bro. I don't know, man. We know how sideshows work, man. If you ain't never been out there, or you ain't never messed with it, man, go experience it. Sideshows is fun. But then I guess they ain't fun when you get smacked by the whip, though. So I guess, I don't know.
developing story we're following out of Indonesia. Police say at least 130 people are dead after chaos and violence erupted at a soccer match between two of the country's biggest teams. Have a look. You can see in this video the clashes between fans and security forces. Authorities say a deadly stampede occurred after police fired tear gas into the crowd. Nearly 200 people were injured as well. Many were transported to nearby hospitals, suffering from lack of oxygen and shortness of breath. CNN senior international correspondent Will Ripley is following this story from Taipei for us. Will, take us through how this tragedy happened.
Well, the tear gas is going to be the key focal point here as they look into why this stampede occurred, because according to survivors, according to journalists who were covering this match, which was expected to be a high-risk match, this is a Saturday night in East Java, Indonesia. Indonesia, known for passionate football fans. Brawls are not uncommon after a contentious match. And yet when police decided to fire tear gas at the lower stands to stop people from rushing the pitch, and in a stadium setting, tear gas is not something that is even allowed by football's governing body, FIFA. That a wind gust or some sort of movement of air pushed the tear gas into the upper stands, where there were families with children, and people started to panic. There was a mass panic because people were breathing this in, their eyes were burning, their throats were burning, and they tried to get for the exit. And when you have hundreds of people trying to rush towards one exit as quickly as possible, you end up with people being suffocated, as you just described. You end up with people who are trampled. There were dozens of people, several dozen, who are believed to have been killed almost instantly in this. But then the others that were loaded into ambulances and cars and raced to area hospitals with various injuries, a lot of those people died even before they arrived at the hospital, or they died shortly after arrival. And so the number of at least 130 right now is expected to go up. And it's just horrific to imagine. As bad as these images look, that they were shot from a distance, imagine if you were caught up there in the middle of that with your kids or with somebody who you love, and then you tried to get to a safer place because you couldn't breathe. And so obviously you have Indonesian authorities vowing to look into this. The Indonesian President Joko Widodo said that there will be a thorough evaluation, both into how the football match was held, whether it was perhaps sold in an overcapacity type of scenario, because apparently, according to Indonesia's chief security minister, there were 42,000 tickets sold. Stadium should have only been holding around 38,000 safely. Also, the president of Indonesia saying that this is a human tragedy, and he doesn't want to let another one happen in the future. So they really have a lot of soul-searching to do here. This is now the deadliest football disaster in Indonesian history, and the world's second deadliest stadium disaster. The last time that we saw anything close to this scale was Peru, almost 60 years ago in Lima, Peru. So clearly, Kim, a lot of questions being asked, a lot of people who are having to grapple with the reality that their loved ones who went to a football match, which is supposed to be fun and exciting, they never came home.
Yeah, absolutely tragic. Will Ripley, thanks so much. Appreciate that. As Will mentioned there, sadly, this isn't the first time that incidents at soccer matches have led to tragic loss of life. April 1989, the FA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. Overcrowding at the Hillsborough Stadium in Sheffield, England, ultimately led to the deaths of 97 Liverpool supporters following a crash. And 21 years ago, in Ghana, around 126 people were killed in a soccer stadium stampede when police fired tear gas at rioting fans, and it was one of Africa's worst soccer disasters. And then in the 1960s, as Will mentioned, more than 300 fans in Lima, Peru lost their lives during an Olympic qualifying match between Peru and Argentina. So we will continue to monitor the tragedy in Indonesia, and we'll give you updates as soon as we learn more.
That shit weird.
Police!
That shit is crazy, man. I don't know. Y'all, I don't know, man. Think about we take this shit way too far over here as far as like football and shit like that. We already know that we take shit kind of too far. But man, think about being over there and you go to a soccer game, like the lady said, you go to a soccer game and like your peoples die or something, that somebody like you might, like somebody you there with or you came where You can't think about it if you die, evidently. But I'm just saying, it's just crazy to think that people take these sports and this thing, this event that's supposed to be fun. Y'all supposed to be just chilling there, watching the people, watching the athletes, watching the players have fun, whether it's a basketball game, football game, anything. Just like last week, we covered the shooting of a football coach at the Little League game. I think that was like, of course people take stuff too far like that in the U.S., but it's a different kind of violence over there when it come to like them football games and stuff. Like, you'll mess around and get trampled. Here at a Little League game, you liable to get shot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just think that shit just kind of crazy. Or beat up at a professional game. You get beat up in the stands or something because you got the wrong jersey on, or because you rooting for your team too hard and somebody behind you don't like it. I don't know. That shit wild. But just to have it happen like that, to get trampled on, they threw tear gas. People was trying to come in at the bottom. Like, that's just whole crazy as hell, man. That's just weird, man. Anyway, I know y'all know about
He studies the devastating brain condition known as CTE and had a movie made about his work called Concussion with Will Smith, is now speaking out, saying that Tua Tagovailoa, the Dolphins quarterback, should never play the game again and should not have been in that game on September 29th after he had hit his head just 4 days earlier in a game against the Bills on the 25th, after which he staggered after he got up and fell once again. They said it was a back injury. So the doctor who identified that first case, as I said, of CTE, has spoken out now to TMZ Sports, and he said this.
Tua, my brother, I love you. I love you as much as I love my son. Stop playing. Stop. Hang your helmet and gallantly walk away. If you love your life, you love your family, you love your kids, if you have kids, it's time to gallantly walk away. Go find something else to do. He should stop.
All right, Dr. Amalu, let's bring in former NFL player Jack Brewer, now CEO of the Brewer Group. Jack, I heard you talk about this the other day very persuasively. I know you love the game. I love the game. I love to watch the game. But this was disturbing to see when we saw him stumble after that hit on the 25th. And then we have an image of that one. And then 4 days later, his hands locked up in a very frightening way, and he was carried off that field. What do you think, Jack, about what this doctor's telling him?
Dr. Amula, he's the preeminent expert on concussions. You're talking about a man who brought light to a lot of darkness for so many of us that played in the National Football League. You know, I played during the time, the early 2000s to mid 2000s, where literally we knock each other out and we get back in the game. You know, we take smelling salts and shots and everything else to get back on the field. And so we didn't have this information. And so now the players have the information, which, Martha, this is why it's so disheartening. It's so hard to understand and comprehend why you would put this young athlete back out on the football field. The entire world saw this man with a critical head injury. And then 4 days later, you put him back on the field and everybody is getting paid to sack him. It just doesn't make sense. At some point, humanity has to take over. When I see that, I can't even watch it, to be honest with you. As having a football background and having concussions myself, it's very difficult to watch these things because I've had so many friends that have either died early or are still hurting.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you speaking out, and so many players who love the game who have spoken out, and even a regular civilian like myself could see that was not a good idea, as you say. Jack Brewer, thank you very much. We always love to talk to you, and we really pray for Tua Tagovailoa and the decisions that he has ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe.
If you don't want to learn how to buy houses,
NFL football fans watching the Dolphins on Sunday had a scare when former St. Louis star quarterback Tua Tagovailoa had to leave the contest.
Yeah, the NFL Players Union is investigating the incident, but the Dolphins QB maintains the injury was his back and not his head. KITV4's Jeremy Lee has been following the story and joined us now with more. Jeremy.
Mika and Rick, Tua Tagovailoa has a short turnaround this week as the Dolphins play again for Thursday Night Football. And a lot of attention has been directed his way. That's because a concussion was initially feared in the second quarter when the quarterback took a hit. Many were relieved and surprised to see him back so quickly on the gridiron.
Gain of 8.
It was this moment that had those watching very concerned.
Roughing the passer. Goodness.
The hit itself looked rough, and the replay had many speculating about the moment. But the Dolphins quarterback told reporters that on the field, something very different was going on after that key play.
Felt like I hyperextended my back or something. Kind of hurt, and then I got up, and then that's kind of like why I stumbled. My back kind of locked up on me.
The team said Tua passed concussion protocols while backup Teddy Bridgewater played the final 3 snaps before halftime. Yet, there's a reason. When concussions do happen, they're rigorously attended to.
And really the most important aspect of the healing process is just stop any further damage and let the body do its healing and don't interfere with that process. So rest.
Regardless of Tua's condition, rest will be in limited supply with the 3-0 Dolphins' short week and a mere 4-day turnaround.
Is there any concern that he could miss the game on Thursday?
Oh, these are, it's my first time on a Thursday night game with Tua, so I don't assume anything. Yeah, it wasn't out of the extreme norm of bumps and bruises after a game.
Tua had the last 2 minutes of play in the first half and all of halftime before he was back on.
I'm good past whatever concussion protocol they had, so.
But the Players Union is investigating nevertheless. There's a reason the NFL of today takes even the potential for a concussion more seriously than it did decades ago.
We used to think there was no major permanent damage to the brain, but we were learning that we can accumulate a lot of small, what we call invisible damages, the damage that we can't necessarily see on the MRI or CAT scan, and that's there, and that can accumulate over time.
All eyes will be on the Dolphins Thursday. They will be in Cincinnati. Miami, one of 2 teams in the NFL and the only team in the AFC off to a 3-0 start. A big part of that, the local boy, they got it, QB1. Reporting live, Jeremy Lee, KITV.
Like a kind of little backstory, I wanted to see how they was treating this at first after that first game, and I see all of the cover up, the double talk, the basically trying to do anything they can to keep him in the game. They 3-0, or they was, or I think they might still be, but I don't know. That ain't really my squad, so I ain't really following them. I did check it out though, and seen it. But I like to hear the talking. I like to hear this shit from all angles, so I can hear everything that they try to cover up with their speech and with the stuff that they be saying, like, and all the kind of shit that they're trying to, like, they cover up stuff. They leave things out, like all kind of weird stuff, man. You gotta watch this shit, man. Shit's crazy. But Tua, man, that's fucked up. I hope he get better. I ain't no doctor, but whatever that nigga, that doctor overseas, whatever he said, I think you probably should do it, cause that shit looked horrible. Horrible. Moving right along, man. Still in the same, we're still talking about football, but in a different way. I know probably everybody might have seen this, but if not.
It's a California high school that has canceled the remainder of its football season now after members of the team were filmed enacting a quote-unquote prank that really just appeared to be a slave auction. Watch. Yeah, this happened at River Valley High School, and that's in Yuba City. Now, the Unified School District Superintendent, Doreen Asami, responded in a written statement. Said this at per CNN. The students involved in the unfortunate and extremely distressing incident were barred from competing the rest of the football season for violating the student athlete code of conduct, Usami said. Because of this, the varsity football team no longer has enough members to play, and the rest of the season has been forfeited. Usami added that some students may face disciplinary consequences as a result of the video, and the school will also implement education, honest, open discussions and instructions around racism. Yeah, and the thing is that this isn't necessarily something new. We've seen this at a lot of schools across the country where these kids think it's completely and totally acceptable. For example, last year in Oregon, parents at Newburgh High School, they found that some of their kids were either participating in or targeted by a social media group chat that was called Slave Trade, which joked about how much participants would pay for their black classmates in a slave auction. A similar incident happened at Aledo High School in Texas, where students also created a social media group called the N-word auction, pretending to auction off their black peers. And some educators have gotten in the action. Back in 2019, a teacher at an elite private school in New York was fired after holding mock slave auctions in 5th grade classes, placing black students in imaginary shackles. The auction simulated the black students being sold like slaves to their white counterparts. It really shows us that some people are well aware of what slavery was, but they just do not care. They don't know, or they don't fully appreciate or give a damn about the degradation, about the rape, the abuse, the torment, the lives that were destroyed, and how some of the consequences of slavery are still very much felt today. That legacy continues, and they yet continue a legacy of hate by way of these reenactments. It's incredibly disgusting, and I'd like to think that if they truly taught students what slavery really looked like, that there wouldn't be these auctions out there, because people would know how incredibly disgusting, dehumanizing, and offensive slavery was as an institution. Jessica.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I think the punishment here for these players really needs to be relevant to precisely what they did, because an unintended consequence of this is now the black members of that sports team are not going to be able to play a season, right? If you're counting on your football career to be your ticket into college, if you enjoy playing football, guess what? Now you can't play a season. And so now they're being punished for the behavior of their ignorant teammates. I really think when we look at this from a perspective of restorative justice, what would be relevant would be mandatory education on the history of slavery. They should have to stay after school, the members of the team that decided to make this TikTok and do this thing, because that would be the thing that addresses the root cause of the problem, which is their ignorance about slavery, so much so that they're willing to make a joke out of it.
Yeah, and it shows you that they either don't know or they are incredibly disturbed individuals. Either way, we got a problem.
Republican Madison.
Totally fucking agree. Totally agree. Ralphie Drib in the crib.
So good.
Did you see this shit? Or you just now? I know you just now hopping in. I might have to roll this back.
Yeah, I see it.
I know you heard about it though. You had to. About them niggas holding that little slave auction.
Hell no.
Oh yeah, you ain't seen that shit. Oh, yeah.
There's a California high school that has canceled the remainder of its football season now after members of the team were filmed enacting a quote unquote prank that really just appeared to be a slave auction. Watch. Yeah, this happened at River Valley High School, and that's in Yuba City. Now, the Unified School District Superintendent, Doreen Asami, responded in a written statement. Said this per CNN. The students involved in the unfortunate and extremely distressing incident were barred from competing the rest of the football season for violating the student athlete code of conduct, Usami said. Because of this, the varsity football team no longer has enough members to play, and the rest of the season has been forfeited. Usami added that some students may face disciplinary consequences as a result of the video, and the school will also implement education, honest, open discussions and instructions around racism. Yeah, and the thing is that this isn't necessarily something new. We've seen this at a lot of schools across the country where these kids think it's completely and totally acceptable. For example, last year in Oregon, parents at Newburgh High School, they found that some of their kids were either participating in or targeted by a social media group chat that was called Slave Trade, which joked about how much participants would pay for their black classmates in a slave auction. A similar incident happened at Aledo High School in Texas, where students also created a social media group called the N-word auction, pretending to auction off their black peers. And some educators have gotten in the action. Back in 2019, a teacher at an elite private school in New York was fired after holding mock slave auctions in 5th grade classes, placing black students in imaginary shackles. The auction simulated the black students being sold like slaves to their white counterparts. It really shows us that some people are well aware of what slavery was, but they just do not care. They don't know, or they don't fully appreciate or give a damn about the degradation, about the rape, the abuse, the torment, the lives that were destroyed, and how some of the consequences of slavery are still very much felt today. That legacy continues, and they yet continue a legacy of hate by way of these reenactments. It's incredibly disgusting, and I'd like to think that if they truly taught students what slavery really looked like, that there wouldn't be these auctions out there, because people would know how incredibly disgusting, dehumanizing, and offensive slavery was as an institution. Jessica.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I think the punishment here for these players really needs to be relevant to precisely what they did, because an unintended consequence of this is now the black members of that sports team are not going to be able to play a season, right? If you're counting on your football career to be your ticket into college, if you enjoy playing football, guess what? Now you can't play a season. And so now they're being punished for the behavior of their ignorant teammates. I really think when we look at this from a perspective of restorative justice, what would be relevant would be mandatory education on the history of slavery. They should have to stay after school, the members of the team that decided to make this TikTok and do this thing, because that would be the thing that addresses the root cause of the problem, which is their ignorance about slavery, so much so that they're willing to make a joke out of it.
Yeah, and it shows you that they either don't know or they are incredibly disturbed individuals. Either way, we got a problem.
She said they need to stay after school. I cried.
Why did they even go along with that? These is high school kids.
Yeah, bro. I don't even know, cuz I wouldn't do it. We'd have been fighting, or either like.
I mean, they did it at Firestone, but I mean, when I went to Firestone, they was doing it, but it wasn't just black people. It was just the seniors. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It was the senior auction.
Yeah, senior auction. Yeah.
But that was something different. That was more. That was more girls buying the seniors, the football players and shit, right?
It was anybody who could have
on a date. What they do? What was they doing?
It was buying them and then like making them do all this crazy stuff the next day. Like whoever they bought, you can make them do pretty much whatever.
Like carry your books and shit, carry your lunch around.
You make them have on a crazy outfit. You make them wear a dress. All type of stuff, dog. They was doing.
I don't know, man. That's kind of whack. That's whack as fuck.
Yeah.
But a full on mock slave auction where you calling it that.
Yeah.
that's out of line.
Yeah, get roasted. We're even going along with that shit.
Yeah. And this she talking about they need to stay after school.
Yeah, get roasted for even going along with that.
But one thing the girl did say is that, which I believe fully, like if you look at the generations have strayed away from the knowledge of actually knowing and the empathy of slavery. Like they know about it. They know about it, but they like fuck it. It wasn't me, so fuck it.
And they changing it in the textbooks.
Yeah, they taking it out, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that critical race theory, that CRT or
I
something.
seen a meme on Facebook the other day, where they, you know how they be having posts, they're like, let's have a meme war.
Yeah.
And somebody posted a meme, and it was the slave shit, and they said how I pick up black chicks. And I'm just like, how could that even be, like, how is that even funny to y'all? Like, how do you even get humor out of that? But y'all swear up and down, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
It ain't racist, or it's not stopping nobody.
First of all, the small shit that we get in trouble for on Facebook, how is that even allowed to go through and be posted?
Right. Right. Did you see that post I posted that Jimmy Smooth shared? Like, I like the marketing Drip doing for this album.
What
Yeah,
happened? They took it down?
You see that post I made where the old girl, she naked, but you can't really see nothing. She got the cowboy hat on.
Yeah. I did see that one.
Man, they tried to ban me for 30 days for that.
And it's not even
Until I disputed it and was like, man, this ain't even what y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't even.
right.
Somebody reported me though, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't even that, man. Like, what is y'all doing? And then they was like, yeah, we reviewed your post. Yeah, we was wrong. You good. I'm like, good, cause what?
Hell nah.
Oh, tripping, man.
I ain't even see it. Okay. Let me see. I think when did you put it, like a day ago or something?
Yeah, like I've been posting it.
No, I'm talking about that actual picture. I've been seeing all the other ones. I've been seeing all the other shit, but except the shit that
It's on there.
they try to block you.
You got on a cowboy hat. She like leaning on the Gallimore recovery.
Oh, you could barely see her back. Like it's like you could. It's pretty much like
Yeah,
her back though, right?
yeah,
But it's not even a full picture. It's like colored. It's
yeah,
like distorted. Like
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, they full of shit for that type of shit.
Trying to kill me for nudity.
Yeah, they try. Oh hell no. Yeah, they tripping. You can't even see nothing. Like it wasn't nothing on there. It wasn't. You can't even see no ass cheek. She got pants
Right.
on.
She don't got no pants. She
Oh, she
naked.
didn't. Oh, okay.
It's like a Playboy cover or something.
Oh, okay.
But still, though, you know what I'm saying? You can't see nothing.
Right.
I changed it up so you couldn't see nothing.
Right. On purpose for that reason.
Yeah, I purposely covered her nipple just so they can't try to do that.
My favorite one is the one with the skeletons in the car. That shit hard as hell.
Yeah.
Nigga, that shit hard as fuck.
My favorite one is the one you first screamed at.
Oh, girl.
Oh, dude, yes.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, the dude dancing. That one and the girl when she eating that shit talking about, I just seen that one on the reel. That shit was funny as hell. I was like, this nigga fooling, dog. He talking about, it's good. That shit hilarious. Man. Well, we got to get to the local bullshit.
Tonight with breaking news, reports of gunshots fired inside Summit Mall in Fairlawn this afternoon. Lydia Sparra joins us live from the scene. And Lydia, what can you tell us?
Lena,
this is what we can confirm for you by witnesses, not police, that there was indeed a shooting inside. It
Yeah,
happened
that
about
nigga was in
2:45
Milwaukee when he stole
inside
that
the
shit.
mall, and immediately that mall was closed
Oh,
down.
no, he was
Let me
here,
set
wasn't
the
he?
scene for you. Employees on the inside said they heard the gunfire and that the mall was put down immediately.
Was it Summit Mall for real?
Yes, but for those of you guys who weren't aware of this, our out of town listeners, this is exactly where Jeffrey Dahmer stole that mannequin from in the 80s.
Yes, because his grandma was staying, they was staying in where? Like Fairlawn, or it was staying around here somewhere.
Right around the corner.
Wow. I fucking cried.
Yes.
Carry on.
On lockdown. Witnesses tell us that it happened near the food court. Two men were scuffling and that a gun went off. Another witness tells us when police came inside the mall, they came with guns drawn. Listen to what she has to say.
First we heard one, and then we thought we heard another one, but we weren't too certain about it. But we definitely heard the one, and then that's when people started running. The employees was trying to get everybody to evacuate.
Now, the employees were told inside the mall were told we're very helpful to the people trying to get to safety. Now, we have been trying to confirm that there was an arrest made. Witnesses tell us that they saw an arrest made, but police tell us they will not get us any information until tomorrow morning. Lena, however, we will continue to push this story, and we'll have more for you coming up at 11 on What's Next. Back to you.
And Lydia, I do want to make it clear with our viewers that we have reached out for more information from Fairlawn Police as well as the mayor, because right now we don't even know for sure that there isn't a gunman running around out on the loose. Just some basic information, but we're finding that authorities are not willing to communicate with the public or us on this immediate matter of public safety. But we are also respectfully asking tonight why, and we will continue to follow this. Lydia, I know you will.
That is correct, Lena. We have made multiple attempts to get a hold of police. Even here on the scene, we've been trying to get multiple sources to work with us to tell us exactly what happened inside the mall. And, you know, honestly, they're just telling us tomorrow morning is when we'll get the information with everyone else.
Yeah, it would just take them 30 seconds of their time. Thanks so much, Lydia.
Absolutely.
And one of them Pooh Shiesty
bad trade deals have.
Every nigga with the Pooh Shiesty mask and all black is a gunman on the loose. Nigga, that's how the APD think.
With the hoodie on in the summertime.
Yup, with the hoodie on in the summertime. You motherfuckers walk around with hoodies on, long sleeve shirts and shit, and it's 80. They know what the fuck going on. Y'all niggas ain't hiding. You niggas ain't being inconspicuous. You know I had to do it, cuz. You know I had to put your guy on.
An horrific story. 13-year-old was assaulted, sexually abused by police. Not one, not two, not three, but four that we know of on record. She took her own life later as an adult. I'm going to expose every single one of these cops. Let's put up the first pictures. Stroughton police now are conducting an internal affairs investigation into 3 former police officers. It has been uncovered that they engaged in what has been described, and I quote, as a deeply disturbing pattern of behavior toward a young woman who took her own life. Officer Matthew G. Farwell, Farwell's twin brother to the right, William Farwell, and their former supervisor to the left, Officer Robert C. Devine, all allegedly, violated department rules and regulations through their conduct with a 23-year-old woman. All had resigned from the department before the outcome of the investigation. I'm going to give you significant background to this. Sandra Birchmore, 23, of Canton, took her own life last year while pregnant with her first child. She told friends the father of the child was Officer Matthew G. Farwell, 36 years of age, whom she met when she was 13 and a member of the department's Youth Explorers program.
Wow.
Now, if this sounds familiar to you, I have reported on 2 other instances in America where police officers took advantage of children who were part of their department's Youth Explorers program. Now we have number 3. There's a problem in the culture. I guarantee you there are more than the 3 that I've covered here on Indisputable. Let me give you more background on this abuse. Birchmore's friend told the Globe earlier this year that Birchmore and Matthew Farwell, the cop, began a sexual relationship when she was 15, below the age of consent. According to the police chief, Mick Namara, evidence from the internal probe demonstrates Matthew Farwell allegedly began an inappropriate relationship with Birchmore when she was 15 and he was 27.
Wow.
There's more. Investigators allegedly found many digital messages containing explicit exchanges between the two over several years. Matthew Farwell allegedly went to Birchmore's apartment on February 1st. This was in 2021, days before she was found dead, to end their relationship, and got into what he later described as a pretty nasty argument. Mick Namara said. Matthew Farwell acknowledged he had sex with her in 2020, but the sexual part of their relationship ended in October that year, according to the Globe. The chief describes Divine's involvement. Divine was part of an after-school program at the middle school where he and other officers were in charge of several students without supervision from members of the school district. The investigation determined that Divine had inappropriate contact with female students in that program. Following the conclusion of the investigation, it says this: Mick Namara has already notified the newly formed Massachusetts Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, that's called POST, of the reports, findings, and has recommended without delay that Farwell brothers and Divine certification to serve as police officers be permanently revoked, she said. Mick Namara recommended to POST that all 3 men be placed on a national decertification database to ensure that they can never serve in law enforcement anywhere else, she said. Chief, I'm going to say this, and I hope somebody sends this directly to you. What's the recommendation to lock their asses up? Right. Where's that recommendation? Decertify?
Right.
Not allow them to be a cop again?
Yeah, that ain't enough.
They committed rape. That's what happened here. And molestation. You're doing us no favor in the community. You're not doing this young person a favor, 23 years of old, where this started when she was a child, and now she has taken her own life. This is why people don't like the police. I'm telling you, you had an opportunity, and you still have one, Chief, to do the right thing, take it all the way. I guarantee you, if this young person would have had this happen to her by way of, let's say, Piru gangsters, you would have held a press conference. You would have said, we're going to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. You would have engaged your justice partners in that local jurisdiction, and you would have rained hell upon those gangsters. But what about the gangsters in uniform, madam? Chief, what about the gangsters that serve in the police department? We're going to continue to follow this story. As of the reporting today, there are no criminal charges against any of these cops who violated public trust, who violated this young lady, that led ultimately to her taking her own life. Not one damn criminal charge yet, but we're going to change that. All right, Ricky, thoughts on this?
For me, Dr. Ritchie, is just the culture of policing taking up for each other even when they're wrong. It makes me wonder: do anybody in that particular police department have daughters or sisters or whatever? In the fact that you can't go out here and get a grown woman, you have to resort into molesting and putting your hands on a child. And if somebody trusts you enough with the child, with their children, and you're supposed to be doing community service or whatever, at what point that you become attracted to somebody 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old? For me, not even in your 20s, it's sad, and they should be in jail. And they always getting reassigned or desk duty or get, or whatever, but they never get prosecuted and go to jail. And at some point, when will the police start to arrest the police? The men that's operating in integrity in policing need to start speaking up and standing up for people out here that's being victimized. And the fact that that precious baby, rest in peace to Sandra Birchmore, took her own life, they should do the rest of their life in prison. And that's sad. And I my heart goes out to the family.
Yeah, same here. Well said, Ricky.
Every trip to the grocery store is a
Wow. I don't even know where this they pretty much cover what I was thinking. As soon as I said it, they went into it. Like, how the fuck is them niggas not going to jail? Because had that been, it don't even got to be a black person. Had it been anybody else that wasn't no cop, they'd have been underneath the jail.
Right.
It ain't even about black or white at this point. It's about cops and not cops.
Mm.
Them motherfuckers got free reign over, they feel like they got free reign and they could do whatever the fuck they want, bro. They think that shit is a badge of immunity, man. That shit sad as fuck. That shit sad as fuck, man.
Yeah, them motherfuckers can get away with more than the president.
Yeah, they can. I ain't about to play this whole thing. I just want to see.
And accuses a white city council alderman of calling her a ghetto black bitch on video. There was an altercation that took place after a recent city council meeting, and it was captured by body cam footage from a police officer. Watch this.
She treats employees like shit all the time. All we had to do, she's gone.
Okay, so here's what I can do. When you're asking me to go
that's what I thought.
the moisture in her front yard, fine.
I guess that makes you worse because he's polite.
But I'm telling you,
Yeah. Ask him. If I can sell that house. Ask him. Ask him. Did you get that on your body cam? Him calling me a ghetto bitch? Did you get that? Yeah. He called me a ghetto bitch. Yes. One of y'all got it on your body cam, so I'm sure you do.
Too many people talking.
If I could have sold my house, I would have done it.
here's what we looked at on the one, just putting in perspective.
Billy, you know what? You are just really. I feel sorry for you. It's a real disappointment. A real disappointment, and I hate that things have resulted to what they are. I really do.
Now, Alderman Curtis Purty isn't heard on the police body cam calling the alderwoman names, but he admitted to calling her that in a phone interview. Now, prior to what took place outside the chamber, things got a little testy on the inside. Watch.
Aye. Opposed. Motion passes. Is there a motion regarding this license?
Yes. Mayor Johnson, I move that we approve. Second.
And properly moved and second that we approve this license. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Nay.
Can we go to the board?
We sure can.
And
No.
I need
Ma'am.
to introduce that into the record.
No, the hearing has been closed, ma'am. All right, all in favor by approving this license indicate by saying yay.
I'm trying to, wow. Wow. That's sad. Talk
Motion-
about racial equity.
Motion
Not at all.
fails.
There's your racial equity, city manager.
What does race have
anything to do with it?
A whole lot.
I don't see it.
Well, you wouldn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. Ladies and
Why is
gentlemen.
that?
Ladies
You
and
tell me
gentlemen.
why.
Ladies
Asking
and
you.
gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Shut up, Keisha.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Move for a 5-minute recess, please.
No, ma'am. No, sir. We're going to move on. We're going to move forward. All right. We will now move to.
So you just told me to shut up, Purdy?
No,
Mr. Mayor, she could address the comment to you, not to me.
Mayor Johnson, I
Yes.
want to know if Mr. Purdy, did you just tell me to shut up?
I'm not going to.
All right, joining us right now is Savannah, Georgia Alderwoman Keisha Gibson Carter. So, what is going on here? Has this been a contentious battle between y'all for months, years? What's going on?
I'm in a contentious battle for the citizens of Savannah. With regard to the interpersonal relations or the lack thereof, I really try not to focus too terribly much on that. Nonetheless, to make this really short and sweet, there's a rule of our council that essentially ices out the minorities on council. And by minority, I mean those who are in the minority vote by number. Myself, Alderwoman Bryant Lanier, and Miller Blakely are three older persons who essentially are the most vocal, the most progressive and aggressive older persons, and the most accessible to the citizens of Savannah. But because we have a rule of council that says we cannot put forth an item for consideration as legislation for consideration unless we have a majority vote. So no place else in the whole United States of America does a sitting older person, notwithstanding that I am the #2 vote getter on council. I actually got more votes than the mayor. I represent all of Savannah in an at-large post, and I cannot present an item to be considered. So fast forward 2.5 years later, you can imagine that that's caused a lot of frustration. Nonetheless, we have figured a way to backdoor our way into getting what the citizens need, and that is helping them understand the importance of mobilization, forming a collective voice, and citizen engagement. And as a result of that, we are able to, in tandem, match that with our force on council and in the community and get the attention of the people and put others on council who would be interested in supporting these efforts that ultimately support our community when it comes to crime, poverty, homelessness, and forced displacement. So we face pushback. And that pushback comes in the form of political hits that's often carried out by mainstream media here in Savannah, both print and television, as well as public assassination of our character, sullying our reputation, if you will. You see, Curtis Purdy has told me to shut up, and he has called me a ghetto bitch, a black ghetto bitch, that is. And so there is nothing, if you were to Google him, that comes up. But when you Google Keisha Gibson Carter, the media has done a pretty good job highlighting and sensationalizing minutia on council. This Curtis Purdy, this individual has filed a bogus ethics complaint. I was shepherded through a process where I was humiliated, and we waste thousands of dollars of taxpayer money. We waste precious staff time only to have Curtis Purdy come to me a week later and apologize and say he was encouraged to file the ethics complaint and he subsequently apologized. Well,
Racoma's EM1010 is the perfect machine to help.
We stayed on the wall. We did not give up. We continue to advocate for the citizens of Savannah, only to now find myself in a firestorm where I'm accused of calling, just by the sheer fact that I said the word racist or told a colleague that his behavior and rhetoric was racist on council, I was voted out of council chair. And physically, the mayor moved my seat physically. And so, you know, these are things that people said that I said. Nothing was captured with regard to the ethics complaint where it was stated that I cursed people out and I hit somebody with my pocketbook. It's the most ridiculous accounts of behavior that can be matched with public government. Nonetheless, we rose above it and we are still in position doing what we do every day, doing what I've done for this city now for nearly 30 years. And that is advocating for her, inspiring her, and protecting the citizens of Savannah from my place of this elected office. And so now we continue to be concerned because, you know, this is dangerous political warfare. I knew what I was signing up for. I'm signing up to run for the top job of the city of Savannah. I will be the 68th mayor of Savannah. And if I intend to occupy that post, surely I have to be able to take somebody calling me a ghetto bitch. And I have to be able to accept that someone would say, shut up to me, notwithstanding it's a live city council meeting. But what I'm here to do is what others who are watching cannot do for themselves. There are women in this country. There are girls in this country whose bodies are under threat, and our voices daily are under threat and attack. And I cannot sit idly by, despite the fact that these egregious acts happened some months ago, about 4 weeks for one and about 2 weeks for the other. And I tried to ignore it. But this individual, Curtis Purdy, posted on Facebook and bragged about what he did. But more dangerous than him bragging about what he did, Curtis Purdy is a sworn police officer charged with protecting the citizens of the community where he works. He's a university professor at Georgia Southern University here in Savannah at the Armstrong campus. Curtis Purdy is supposed to mitigate and de-escalate situations. This individual came out of his way. I left the city council meeting about 8 to 10 minutes early to go out and meet with my citizen and to help mitigate the situation that she was in with our assistant city manager, Heath Lloyd, only to have Curtis Purdy come out of chambers. And as opposed to taking the northern exit, he came in the southern direction where I was, where the assistant city manager and where the citizen was. She right away stated that she did not want to speak with him. And I turned to him and said, she doesn't want to speak to you. I have it. You've ignored her. Go on. So first and foremost, he never should have entered my space. He never should have entered my space. And secondly,
okay. So here's what I'm confused by. Okay, where's the mayor? Where's the city council when it comes to don't y'all have some sort of rules with conduct when it comes to how council members talk to each other?
Yes, we do. And
so what happened?
Nothing. He has not been reprimanded. He has not been censured. The mayor has not acknowledged one word about his behavior. He's not expressed any concern. In fact, he announced on his show, on his live Facebook show, that he supported Curtis Purdy. And that here again is another reason why I'm speaking up and speaking out, because as I stated,
this $60 bathroom.
So this is, so it's just strange to me. Again, like I say, I've seen other city councils where they've done some stuff, but this is quite strange to me here. So, okay, so you don't have any admonishment from the council, from the mayor. What are your fellow members of city council saying? Are they just ignoring this?
Well, Alderwoman Miller Blakely, my Post 2 colleague, and Alderwoman Bryant Lanier, the representative for District 1, have been very, very supportive and have encouraged me to push for an internal affairs investigation because, as you see, most of the body cam footage is of me, and you hear me, but you don't hear Curtis Purdy when the police officer was standing right next to him. Now, you should know that the police officer is a paid sergeant who basically provides personal security, fetches the mayor's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and drives him around in a city-issued vehicle while also getting a stipend. So this individual has allegiance to the mayor and was motivated to not capture what Curtis Purdy stated to me, but was motivated to capture what I said. And this was the second time, he used the body cam footage. They turn this footage over to the media often, and once it's on the media desk, they sprinkle their magic on it, and it turns into something totally different from what the intended purpose was or what the scenario in fact was. And so then I'm often tasked with damage control and trying to paint a different picture for the public, which I essentially have decided that no longer am I interested in chasing down and making things right. But what I will do is continue to speak up, speak out, and advocate for those who are most vulnerable among us. As I continue to advocate for lowering taxes, I continue to advocate for integral behavior and actions within our local government, as well as how we are treating our city staff and ensuring that we have adequate services. And so you asked the question, what are the council's rules? How do you exercise these rules? Yes, the rules and the punishment, if you will, it's been used on me. And it's been used on me for things that no one heard, that was not captured on a body cam. It's been used on me for things that people just made up and said. But you have a guy who actually was captured in a live city council meeting saying,
he did make a post. I want to read this here. This is what he actually posted on Facebook. He said, "Did I tell the alderwoman at large to shut up? Of course I did. I did not apologize for saying it. I'm sick and tired of the nastiest and lies that come out of her mouth. She thinks it's okay to make homophobic remarks and call people names, especially during a meeting. I'm offended, and so are the citizens of Savannah. You can't act like you care about LGBTQ people or other groups and make the remarks that you do. If anybody needs to apologize, it's her. I will always have and always will stand up for those who have been oppressed or bullied. It's time to get back to work. God bless." Final comment.
That nigga trying to cater. That's political catering if I ain't never seen it. Sitting up here talking about some fucking for the LGBTQ.
You know, the piece I find problematic about that is, one, as I stated, he was bold enough to do what he did. Two, he was not smart enough to post that on social media as a police officer. And number three, you're lying. Not only did you commit the act, but you're lying about why you committed the act. And when I said this is dangerous political warfare, Curtis Purdy knows that I have the heart and spirit of this community in the palm of my hands. And he knows that I personally have dedicated my work through the Rape Crisis Center, as well as just a person, a citizen of Savannah, to assisting individuals in the LGBTQ plus community here in Savannah and outside of Savannah, and my family even. And so what I won't do, because what I don't like for people to do is to tell me how many Black friends they have to say that they're not racist, right? We're not going to do that. But what we will do is we will continue to let my work, my life's work, and my current work speak for me. And so the fact that he lied about why he told me to shut up, because nothing was captured. It was nothing remotely close to where a homophobic remark would have fit or matched. And he said the same thing. And he says that I said these homophobic remarks because he's married to a man. And he says that I called him a pedophile. And that's why he called me a ghetto bitch. Well, the last time I checked, gay people are not pedophiles. And so that doesn't match. It doesn't make sense. He's reaching, he's grabbing, and he's digging a deeper hole for himself. He was honest enough to say he said it. Well, just say you said it, because that's what's in your heart and in your spirit.
Got it.
And the definition of me bullying, the definition of a bully is a person where there is imbalance of power, It's where behavior happens frequently and continually. I see this person twice a month at the city council meetings. We don't say anything to each other unless he's challenging me on council, that is. And he carries a badge and a gun. How can I bully you, right? And so this is the same council. The irony that you should know, Mr. Martin, is that the mayor is African American, and this is a majority African American council. 7 out of 9 of us are African American. This is the same council who voted to desecrate the weeping time, the property where the largest sale of enslaved people, African people, happened right here in Savannah, Georgia. This is the same council, a super African American majority council, who won't vote to change the name of Calhoun Square to Susie B. King Taylor Square. This is the same council who allows for us to go about, and this piece where he told me to shut up, this came about because I was reminding our city manager that we are focused on inclusion and equity. And we were denying yet another African American establishment a liquor license, where we have 600 establishments here in Savannah, and fewer than 15 of them barely are owned by African American people.
All right, then. Well, look, sounds like there's still lots of drama there in Savannah, so certainly keep us updated on what happens there. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
We thank you for your interest.
All right, folks, back to our road mark unfiltered video. Nigga, that shit wow, bro. My bad that shit was so long, but that shit, I wanted to hear more intel of more of the story, man. I'm glad they got into that shit. Like,
You know, if you called her, say she was gay bashing, it was going to automatically side with you.
Exactly. And that's what he did. But like she said, that county, that wherever they at is typically black as far as the voters. You see, they got a black mayor, but he looked like he on some bullshit. He was all talking about no. Oh shit, man. Let's go to this. Catch this last shit, man, real quick, man. Oh man.
Fed up with porch pirates, fights back, and now police are investigating after thieves not only a mother fed up with porch pirates fights back, and now police are investigating after thieves not only swiped some packages in South Austin, but they vandalized that woman's home. Thanks for joining us tonight at 9. I'm Britt Marino.
I'm Daniel Marin. The woman told us after seeing similar videos outside of other people's homes, she wanted to do something drastic. KXAN's Brianna Hollis shows us what.
It's officially fall in Central Texas, which, well, doesn't mean a ton because it's still 90+ degrees outside, but people do now have holidays on the mind. For Gabriella, a mom, in this case, it's not a good thing.
We need to stop this now, especially before the holidays get started.
This is the this she's talking about.
Hitting in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, same car, same people.
They even tried to swipe her skeleton,
I'm done.
which she now has chained to the house. She says at least 12 neighbors have told her the same people have hit their homes.
As a community, we are frustrated.
Nearby, Brittany Walker dealt with the same thing.
I see somebody with the big package. I just ran outside and I just said, I have a baby, and they look at me and they just laughed.
While Walker yelled, Gabriella put her kids' dirty diapers in a box on the porch.
And when they discovered it was a bunch of dirty diapers, they came back and smeared those diapers on our front door.
Police say victims can legally confront these suspects, but
don't do it. Please don't confront a porch pirate.
At Gabriella's, the diaper debacle got worse.
They came back with a giant bag of cow manure, and so it was a really long day of cleaning a lot of cow feces off of our house that day.
But she says it was worth it.
But it's a tool for me. I have a toddler, I work full time, and I have another one on the way. So I use this as a survival tool.
There has to be an end. It's just not okay in my book anymore.
Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
And we asked APD about the manure case. The department says smearing it on vehicles would fall under criminal mischief. Investigators are still looking into what happened. Now, APD recommends requiring a signature for delivery drivers to drop off packages or maybe get your packages delivered to work. In Round Rock, the police department launches Operation Front Porch during the holidays, in which people can have their packages delivered straight to the police department.
We know it happened.
They just said that so they can steal them too.
Ah, you stupid. That's crazy. So they came back and threw shit on her fucking crib. I mean, I don't want to be on some shit.
Ignorant because you stole something from me. Just because I put dirty diapers in there, you gonna try to come back and smear them on my door?
Right.
Cause you mad because you ain't get the gate?
Right, cause you
You got some nerve. Man, I have a bomb waiting for him, cuz.
Facts. Like that
I
one
have a
dude.
bomb. I'll figure out how to put a bomb in one of them packages. And blow their ass up with rock salt or something.
Hell no.
He's got this trash bag in his hand. As Jeep walks up to the building.
It was a dude that did that shit.
Pause it, get a photo of our suspect. And he'll continue to walk up the ramp. He'll put down the trash bag, and you'll see right there, he pulls out a firearm.
Damn. This was 8 hours ago.
He then enters the business. Unfortunately, there's no cameras inside of the business, so we have no video surveillance inside. At 9/11, the back door opens. You'll see the suspect come out, and you'll see the firearm. And then it also appears that Jazz Deep and Almond Deep are zip tied behind their backs.
Who is this?
People got killed. This came out 8 hours ago. The Merced was kidnapped. The family was kidnapped.
Jazz Deep and Almond Deep are put in the back seat of the pickup truck.
Here we go. Another case of 2 against 1.
All right.
All right, so that was 9:13 when the vehicle left. It's now 9:19. The truck is back. Same suspect gets out of the vehicle, goes back inside the business.
This nigga thought he had a hell of a lick. Look at the fucking
Less than a minute
dog,
later,
bro.
you're going to see Jasleen and Arohi come out of the business unrestrained.
Wow. Wow. We're gonna keep up on this. This just happened. Like 8 hours ago. So we'll keep up on this. We'll have more. We'll have more on that next week, man. When we come to y'all. That shit was just crazy as hell, cuz. That shit was wild. That shit was crazy, man. Anyway, man. What's happening, man? What you got going on, man? I think that's it for today, man. What you got going on, man? Tell them about the Gallimaufry, man.
Gallimaufry on the way. Be looking out for that. I ended this month for real. Be looking out for that.
Already.
Yo shot though first.
Facts. I'm waiting to hear from my nigga Dez right now. I'm waiting to hear from him about when his availability is. Cause I tried to contact a couple folks, but he was the only one who, you know what I'm saying, tapped in and was like, I got you. So, you know, about what we had talked about. So, yeah, we can definitely get it cracking, man. So it's on the way. All of our visuals about to be stepped up a lot, man. As y'all see, if y'all tuning in, but we appreciate y'all as always, man, for sliding in, tuning in with us, smoking, taking a sip, drinking, whatever you doing, man, and just chopping it up with us, talking some shit. Checking up on the news, man. That's what we do here, man. We ain't doing it. We just doing something slight, man. We ain't doing nothing huge. We just having fun, kicking back, man. So if y'all ain't doing nothing, man, don't forget to tap in, man. So with that being said, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Peace.